Caleb Williams had one of the most hyped rookie seasons we've seen in years, but did he really live up to the expectations? Today, we're breaking down the film to find out what's real and what's not. From elite flashes to growing pains, I've pulled 5 key plays that tell the full story, both good and bad. Let's dive in and see if year 2 could be the breakout everyone's expecting, or if there's more work to be done.
Hey.
Alright guys, before we get into this first play from Caleb Williams, I want to give you guys a brief overview of him as a player if you aren't super familiar with his game. So in terms of height and weight for Caleb Williams, he's 6'1", 214 pounds, which is on the smaller side for your NFL quarterback, but it's not too small to where I kind of see it as a problem. And he is a very good athlete. He ran a 4.56 40, which is very good at his size. 99th percentile speed score as well. And in terms of his draft capital, he was dubbed as this generational prospect coming out of USC. I'll throw some of his stats from his time at USC on the screen here. He won the Heisman as a sophomore. He did slightly regress as a junior, but still put up some really solid numbers at USC in his final season. And the Bears drafted him first overall in the 2024 draft class, and man, he was really hyped up as a rookie. You know, they had Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze as his wide receiver core, and, you know, DeAndre Swift, who was coming off a pretty solid year at Philadelphia. So he had like all of this talent around him, and the Bears really underperformed, and that was slightly because of play calling, slightly because of Caleb Williams holding on to the ball too long. You know, they just really weren't feeling themselves on offense that much. So anyways, he finished as the quarterback 16 last year. You know, he put up some decent stats, but he was very inconsistent, especially at the beginning of the year, similarly to how Bo Nix was at the beginning of the year. But let's go ahead and get right into this play. I'm yapped enough here. So in terms of the play call, you're going to have Cole Kmet coming on in motion here and going on this out route here. And then the route that really gets open here, but Caleb Williams sadly doesn't throw it, is this go route from Rome Odunze, who he kind of fakes the comeback and then explodes upfield. He gets some solid separation, you know, inside the 15-yard line, and I think Caleb Williams could have thrown this for a much easier touchdown than what he actually does. And then in terms of DJ Moore here, he's on a corner route here, and then the guy who actually gets the ball in this situation is Keenan Allen. He's on a post route here. And then DeAndre Swift's just going to be kind of running out and turning around in the flat here just as a check down option. So in terms of the coverage here from the Lions, it's cover 4. So you got 4 deep zones. So in theory, this play should not work versus cover 4, but it does. So you'll see exactly what Caleb Williams does here. He navigates the pocket very well here and throws a strike over the middle of the field. Very impressive throw from Caleb Williams. So you'll see Cole Kmet going into motion here. Hikes the ball, steps up in the pocket, basically avoids 2 sacks. I will say the offensive line for the Bears was pretty horrendous this year. He got sacked a ton, Caleb Williams did, but he steps up in the pocket, clean pocket movement, and you see Keenan Allen pretty much wide open, but you got to have arm strength to throw it all the way in here before this safety makes a play on this and sends Keenan Allen to the hospital. And he puts a good bit of effort on it. Great play from Keenan Allen, avoiding those 2 tackles and basically falling into the end zone. But you just see a strike from Caleb Williams downfield. That's a beautiful throw. But I do want to give a shout out to Rome Odunze on this play. Watch 15 here. I'm a big Rome Odunze fan, but watch this route. This is a beautiful route. Whoop, whoop. And you can see safety's kind of reading his eyes, so he's kind of already playing this. But this guy got beat by Odunze. He can put it in the bucket over here, and that's a free touchdown in my opinion. But overall, very good play from Caleb Williams. Good strike, shows the arm strength. And the most important thing about this play is him stepping up in the pocket like this. I mean, watch what he does here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step drop back. Cuts inside very violently. That's what we want in our quarterbacks. We want them to step up in the pocket and throw strikes. and he has that violent mobility to just throw a strike down the middle of the field, step up in the pocket, similarly to how Tom Brady does. I know people don't really value Tom Brady's athleticism that much, but one of the things that made him so great was this ability, just stepping up, basically jumping back into the pocket like Caleb Williams does here. Boom. Throws a strike, sets his feet well. Good base there as well. So yeah, overall, very solid play here from Caleb Williams. All right, here's another beautiful throw from Caleb Williams. Really shows how he can layer the football, especially when he's in a clean pocket. So this is versus the Packers, who also have a pretty solid defense in all honesty. So you see Keenan Allen going in motion here. He's the dump off here. He's just basically going to look at Caleb Williams in the flat, just make himself available, which is good. And then you have DJ Moore, who's basically going to be on this dig route here over the middle of the field. Rome Odunze's just basically going on this go route. And then Cole Kmet, who actually ends up getting this ball, is going on a corner route. And then the back is basically checking protection and running this comeback route, or this flat route here, right? So in terms of the coverage, I want to say this is just cover 3 from the Packers. And what cover 3 is kind of weak against is if you have 2 clear out routes, clearing these outside safeties, you're going to be really weak in these areas of the zone here. So they're all basically going deep here. So, 15, 20 yards downfield in these little spots here. That's what cover 3 is pretty weak against. So you're going to see Caleb Williams identify this coverage and throw it right into the gap in the zone. And he layers it right over a defensive back as well. It's a beautiful throw. So you're going to see him hike the ball off play action here. And you kind of see what I'm talking about here, right? So you've got this area right here because this guy's got to go with Rome Odunze here. So you've got a decent area here where you can throw this ball. And Caleb Williams layers it over a defender right into the bucket. I mean, that's about as perfect a throw as you can make because it's a fairly tight window throw to make as well. I mean, look at that. That's insane. Layers it because, if you throw an Anthony Richardson pass here, you put a little bit too much oomph on this. This guy's either making a play on it or batting the ball down. Right? So, beautiful. If you overthrow it, it's also picked off. Like, you have to put it right in that spot. That is a beautiful throw from Caleb Williams. You can't talk about Caleb Williams without mentioning some of his improvisational skills. He's really good at getting outside the pocket and just making plays when he needs to, and this is a perfect example of him doing this. So in terms of the play call, guys, you're going to have DJ Moore kind of doing this out and in kind of motion, and he's just going on a go route here. And same thing with pretty much 3 wide receivers here and Cole Kmet. They're all running verticals, and then Keenan Allen's just going to be doing this underneath route. Most of the time, you're going to be throwing it to Keenan Allen here. He's your first read. But you're going to see this guy really just kind of eats this play up and doesn't let that happen. But the guy who ends up being the unsung hero of this play is DeAndre Swift. So he's basically just coming out to the flat. But notices Caleb Williams is kind of going out of the pocket because he's being rushed. So he ends up just working upfield, and it ends up being a big-time gain. So very good idea from DeAndre Swift to work upfield here. So in terms of the defense for the Minnesota Vikings, cover 4 once again. So you got 4 deep zones here. And this guy just works perfectly on this underneath route. So the read is pretty much one and done for Caleb Williams because versus cover 4, none of these vertical routes are going to get open unless somebody messes up big time, and the underneath route is bagged as well. So he's going to be scrambling out as well because it's a blitz under. He's, iffy under pressure because, sometimes he runs around a little bit too long, which we'll get into in a minute. But in all honesty, this is a great play from Caleb Williams. So you'll see DJ Moore doing a little motion here. Hikes the ball, and you see immediately, I don't know if this is on Caleb Williams for not checking the protection or changing the blocking scheme here, but 43 is on him immediately. unblocked free rusher towards the quarterback. That's not what you want. Outruns him completely. And I want to show you guys DeAndre Swift here. So you see he's already, looking back at the quarterback, which makes me know this was his route. He was just running to the flat and that's it. And honestly, Caleb Williams should, if you're a normal quarterback, throw it to the check down, live to fight another day. But he does, he extends the play. He's really good at extending the play. And you see DeAndre Swift working upfield. And I cannot explain to you guys how insane this throw is. He's jumping in the air with a guy in his face. And he's throwing a perfect ball. Because you see all of the 4 deep zones here are all covering the verticals downfield. There's a big hole in this area right here. And look at Caleb Williams, guys. He's in the air when he throws this, about to get drilled by this defensive player. And look at how he floats this. Right in the bucket to DeAndre Swift. I cannot explain to you guys how insane this play is. I mean, that just goes to show you he has throws like this, maybe once every game where he can make a throw like this. And if he can make this stuff more consistent on a game-to-game basis, he's an elite top 5 quarterback in my opinion, guys. He has the touch, he has the accuracy, and he has the athletic ability. If he puts all of them together and is consistent with these play calls, man, he's going to be special, guys. He's going to be a game wrecker. Look at that. Dodges the tackle, throws off platform, basically jumping in the bucket to DeAndre Swift. But one more time, I want to give props to DeAndre Swift working in scramble drill and working upfield, because if he didn't do that, this is a sack, or he's throwing it out of bounds. So way to go, DeAndre Swift, and absolute beauty of a throw from Caleb Williams. Look at that. That's just insane. All right, guys, so here's a not so great play from Caleb Williams. He ends up getting pressured a little bit, and he just throws this route. Honestly, it's a really great play from the DB, but he had a wide open running back here, and, I wish he would have rather just threw it to the running back here instead of just making it an easy read play for number 40 here. So the play call here is basically a post from DJ Moore. And then the back is supposed to basically hit this guy with a bump block and just come out to the flat. Cole Kmet's going over the middle of the field on a hitch. DeAndre Carter is just on a flat route. He's your speedy guy, so he can make things happen after the catch if he needs to. Rome Odunze is on a hitch. Don't really like this play call, in all honesty. I don't like the hitch concepts, really, especially multiple hitches in one type of play. But I think you read this play like 1, 2, 3. I think that's his reads, because, you see Caleb Williams really peeking this side of the field. But if you're getting some pressure, I think you just throw it to the back. Right? I think you throw it to the back here. And then I think you also will peek DJ Moore here, just in case his release is really good and he gets some instant separation. And that's your man beater as well. But in terms of the coverage, I think the Colts are in cover 4 palms here. I could be wrong in that, but I think this guy's supposed to be on a deep zone, and he just ends up making a play on the ball because he sees where Caleb Williams is throwing to him. But overall, you'll kind of see some pressure off Caleb Williams here. You'll see some pressure, and sometimes, guys, when he gets pressured, he'll run into sacks from time to time, and he'll make some erratic decisions every now and then. He only threw 6 interceptions, but he does make some dangerous throws here and there when he's under pressure. So you'll see he gets a little bit of pressure here. I think that's plenty of time, and I think he definitely should have peeked his running back here instead of this route, because you see the back already. I mean, you see the defensive back already coming to make a play on this, and there's nobody even close to this running back here. So that's a free first down, in my opinion, probably, if you just dump it off to him. But you're going to see Caleb Williams throws it a tad too late, doesn't put enough oomph on it, and it gives him just enough time for the corner. If the corner didn't step out here, that's a pick 6. If the corner doesn't step out. And maybe DeAndre Carter's not supposed to, run all the way to the sideline here. I think that's what he's supposed to do. But, yeah, I would have loved him to just throw it down to the running back and, live to fight another day instead of just staring down your receiver here for the corner to make a read. So, overall, pretty poor play here from Caleb Williams. He's going to have to clean that up. All right, guys, here's another kind of poor play from Caleb Williams. It's just a prime example of him holding onto the ball way too long. He did this a lot. I will say a lot of those sacks were just the O-line being really bad, but some of these other sacks were very inexcusable from Caleb Williams, and this is one of the ones that really irritates me the most because this is in overtime versus the Vikings, a very solid team, and the Bears could have won a lot of these games if Caleb Williams just didn't get sacked so much, but it's a very simple play call here. So you got Keenan Allen here coming into motion, and he's just going to be on this flat route here. And then you got Rome Odunze, who's going to be on this corner route. And then you have DJ Moore here, who's just on this hitch. So this two-route concept is what we call smash. Very good versus zone coverage. And it's also kind of working as a solo, pseudo levels concept. So you've got 1, 2, 3 for your read. So you're reading, deep, middle, and then short route. And you only have 3 routes here. So, Cole Kmet's going to be blocking. The back's going to be blocking. So you're reading 1, 2, 3. Really quick concept here. Super quick. You're reading 1, 2, 3. If none of them are there, try to scramble for something, right? That's the only thing that you have to do in this situation. So in terms of the coverage here, they're in cover 3 with, your guys underneath coverage here. And they do a pretty good job of bagging, your deep and intermediate routes in this play call. So you're going to see what Caleb Williams does here. So they're going to put Keenan Allen in motion here. He's going to hike the ball. And 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't take a 5-step. He takes a 4-step drop back. You got to step up in the pocket and make a throw. Now, it's a 3-man rush. It's not even, this is second down, and I think 8 is what the down and distance is. So make a quick thing. Try to make it 3rd and short, right? And obviously this corner route's not there. This really isn't here because of 43's presence here. You got the flat route. Throw the flat route. 1, 2, 3. Read it that quick. Throw the ball. What's he do? I don't know why. Why are you looking over here? He looks over here for some reason. There's not a single receiver over there. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's looking for a rushing lane. This is not the area you want to be running into because none of your receivers are putting any of the defenders in depth there. So he steps up in the pocket, steps back in the pocket, looking over the middle of the field for some reason. I don't know why he's looking over here. Once again, there's nobody running any routes over there. And he just steps back, 3 extra steps. I don't know what he's doing here. This is so frustrating to watch, and he takes a 10-yard sack. What are we doing? I mean, is he expecting Cole Kmet to run a route here? I don't know. But, you have to throw the flat route here. That's the only thing you can do. There's no other route that you can throw here. But instead, he steps up in the pocket for some reason, dodges a sack. He's very athletic, so he can dodge sacks and sit back there for a while. But, I mean, what are we doing? This is so frustrating to watch. It's not like you're getting any rushes here. Look, assess the situation. You're not running anywhere. You've got a QB spy on him. There's nothing you're going to do here. Blocking held up fairly well, too. It's a quick concept. You have to throw this ball quick. And Caleb Williams is just doing way too much here, and he's going to have to stop doing this, and the Bears will lead themselves into a lot more wins if he stops doing stuff like this. There's no question, Caleb Williams showed why he was the number 1 overall pick. He's got the arm, the mobility, and the instincts to be special, but it wasn't perfect. The pressure, decision-making, and overall consistency still need refinement. With Ben Johnson calling the shots and a loaded offense around him, the opportunity is absolutely there. Now it's just a matter of how fast he can grow. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to join the Bobby's Big Board Discord. The link is in the description. As always, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.